Welcome to Getting Back Up, where grief meets growth.
Two men, two fathers, and one shared journey of rebuilding.
We're talking about life after cancer, love, loss, and everything no one tells you. I'm David McClain.
And I'm Jamal Jones.
And we welcome you to Getting Back Up, Finding Life After Death. Hey, man, I caught myself the other day just thinking about something that actually will never happen.
What's that? What you got for me?
Was that sense of retirement and what that looks like.
I'm starting to count. I mean, at least pay attention to how far it is. I always say, man, it's a touchdown, one good Hail Mary.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting close to that age, but I think it's more about this planning of retirement that was supposed to be with her, my late wife.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That hits differently.
Yeah.
That hits differently.
Yeah. I think you always start to think about what that eventuality would have been, what that actually would have looked like, and assume that she was supposed to be there to see all this out and all these plans that are happening.
Yeah, that's a different type of grief.
Yeah.
That's a different, and I know I've been there for sure, and I'm sure our listeners have been there in different ways too, but that's a different one.
Yeah, and that's what we want to focus on today, is that talking about something that widowers definitely experience, but they really don't talk about this and name it. Rarely name what this is.
Yeah, we're talking about grieving the future, right? Like dreams that you had and these unanswered parts or these unwritten parts of your previous journey that you thought that your mind built. Right.
Not just losing your spouse now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we talk about often, losing a life you were trying to build together. Like you already had this identity that was tied together. Now you're losing. It's unfinished business, right? Like it's this unfinished business that you didn't get to follow through on, and you had built it in your mind for so long that this is going to be the story.
Yeah, I mean, this is real grieving. This grieving of the future. This is a real sense and form of grief. There's just no question about that.
Yeah, and I think, in reality, it's okay to build that future. It's okay to hold on to that and realize that you had this deep connection with somebody, with this person, and you had these dreams.
Yeah.
And now you're in this place where you're designing and beginning this future without this person. You're rewriting a book, or you're having to edit a story real time that you had written and were ready to publish. Right?
Yeah. And now there are added chapters and rewrites and all of that at this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's kind of get into it for you as far as your story is.
Yeah. I mean, I think, the reality, right, is for me, I didn't realize how long, like, I think you don't realize how long the grief lasts or how long these memories pop up or how these things, these elements of what you thought life was going to be like presents itself, and it presents itself in a different way. I think that's the thing that I've been surprised for.
Yeah, because it's that time doesn't wait for these new milestones. They're still going to keep coming, whether you're at this new point and embracing this moving forward. Totally.
Yeah, and like the milestones in and of themselves remind you.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes the where you thought or what you're writing now may be better or different. Right? I won't say maybe better is not the right way. Maybe different in not a bad way than you foresaw it. Right. Than you originally had planned it.
But she was supposed to be here.
But someone else. But you thought there was somebody else that was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the challenge is. I think that's where the struggle happens in many cases.
So get into what the marriage was supposed to be for you when Janice was still around.
Yeah.
At that point, when we're thinking of this future, this retirement that we're talking about, absent the person with whom you're supposed to retire, And of course, you had some other challenges to that marriage. Again, as you said about your marriage, which I think is very important for us to say here, is if the cancer hadn't killed Janice,
like
the marriage would have.
The stress of the marriage might kill her and me, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right. And I think it's important. Like, so I always try to preface it with, like, everybody, we all go through this. We all go through marriage. Anybody who's married, you go through the ups and downs, and some of them last through, and sometimes you're able to weather through them, and sometimes you're not. And I think where Janice and I were when she got diagnosed, we were both in a place where we were really, really at the point where, like, this is not working. Right? We can't get past our things. We're not willing to change certain things, and that was the reality of our situation. So for me, like, at that point, I had already started looking at the end of my book, right? Well, not the end, but I already started looking at, like, man, I have to rewrite these chapters that I thought were going to be one way.
Yeah.
That was something that was, for me, not necessarily about, oh, well, I'm not going to retire with this person, or I'm not going to have a vacation home with this person, or well, whatever. It was more about learning, okay, well, I'm going to be co-parenting with this person. I'm going to be co-parenting with Janice if and when we get divorced.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that was what my beginning path was. That's how I saw it. When she got diagnosed and before she passed, before we got to the point where we realized she likely wouldn't survive it.
Yeah.
It was a different realization, right? And I had started thinking about, well, wait, man, we have this marriage we were thinking about ending. It's gonna end in a different way, but, oh man, we haven't resolved some of these things that we had beef about, like all these tensions, like these things I'm not going to get, are we going to get closure in these things? Are we going to get to this point where,
like, what? Do you have any?
Just trust issues, or things that we couldn't get on the same page about finances. Like,
but I think was it trust to move forward as co-parenting, or maybe even
trust that we would be there to support the kids.
Okay.
Trust that if we're not together in a marriage, that doesn't mean that we won't be there to support each other through the thick and thin. Okay. We still loved each other. We just didn't love each other together anymore. Right. And we still had children that we believed that we wanted to support. So it's like, are we going to be there? And is this the new design? Then there was a part of me that honestly was like, before when we were battling, and before she passed, when I thought she would survive it, I was like, wait, maybe we do rewrite this ending. Maybe we can survive this, and maybe the marriage can survive this, and maybe we get past this, and maybe cancer saves our marriage, right?
But there's still those fundamental challenges.
But those things still exist, and you still figure, like, hey, we've done this, we can tackle any mountain. But I think when you think about the rewrite, when you think about what you saw as the ending, or what you imagine as the future, there's still a lot of questions, right? Even for me, there were a lot of questions as to what this future will look like with this person. And I think when she passed, there were many unanswered questions around, would the marriage have survived? What would we have looked like in divorce? What does my life look like now that everything's been turned on its side? Like, are all the plans that we had together, or that I had individually, and I contemplated divorce when we talked about divorce, like, all of these are like, what happens now, right? But then you talk about the milestones with the kids graduating middle school, high school, like all of these different things.
Right.
And it just presents itself each time that it's like, well, whether we were married or not, she should be here for this.
Yeah.
Whether we were married or not, we would have all thrown this party together for the kids.
Yes.
Right. Whether we were married or not, and I talked even now with my, now I'm remarried. I think my wife now, Jordan, and Janice would have gotten along. right? Because I knew how Janice was. I saw how she was with my stepson and how she embraced his siblings from his previous his from his father's relationship.
So Janice's first
husband, right?
Your
So
late wife's first
yeah, so I
husband.
saw how she was, and it was about the children, right? And it was like, we're here together in the community to support these children. And as long as she saw that and felt that from Jordan, she'd be like, yo, let's plan this party together, right? So there's things that now like that I think about, like, wow, like,
but there still would have been a lot of work to do.
Hell of a lot of work. Yeah, no shortage of work.
You both mutually have to decide.
Right.
We are given another lease on the life of our marriage.
Right.
And a lease on your life too.
Right.
What are we going to do to make the best of this time
Exactly.
that we have left? Because it's not promised to
Right.
us. As
Right.
we have
So in many ways, right, like with her passing,
yeah,
all of these different things have changed. All of these different pages that we had written, that we had imagined
right.
as a couple, that we had written and as imagined as we contemplated divorce.
Yeah.
Right. And then like all of it changes.
Right.
Right. Like all of it changes, and all of it, you get to each milestone and you're always saying, oh man, wow, what would it have been like? Well, she would have been here. And if she was here, if Janice was here, like this other element would have been here, or we would have done this as well. Or like, you're always,
proving that you are better apart.
Right.
In each milestone, as you come together and co-parent, you're getting better and better and better at showing and modeling for your children. Oh yeah, you can be divorced.
Yeah,
and it still works.
And
and the kids know that they're loved.
Right. You see these
folk are present.
Yeah, you see these stereotypical shows where people are divorced, and it's just like, they hate each other. That's not reality. Like, yes, that happens.
Sure.
But in many situations, two parents who love each other, and love their children and their family that they've built, extended, and also say, hey, we've got to be civil, and we just grew apart for different reasons, or this marriage. And I think that's something that, like, it gets contemplated differently when you think about, like, when you wake up and you have the milestone or the moment, and you're like, man, what would retirement look like?
Mm-hmm.
Or for me, when I say that, well, like, what would retirement look like? It'd be me saying, hey, Janice, me and Jordan are going here. You make sure the kids, like, Zaya, Jackie, whoever has this thing coming up or whatever, like, I think they wanted one of us to be there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but that's what it would be.
Right.
Right. And it would be different if we had survived, if we'd figured out how to work through our differences.
Yeah.
Right. The dream and the vision may be different. And I think that's the part where either way you wake up, either way you have those moments and you're like, whoa, like, this is not the story I thought we were writing.
Right.
So
yeah,
I don't know, but I mean, I know your perspective is totally different than mine. So I know you had the aha moment the other day when you had that retirement, glimpse of retirement, and now it looks different.
Yeah. I mean, it's not only the collection of milestones that we talk about all the time, as far as Miela driving, that's my oldest.
Yeah.
And the different concerts that happened that Nalani would have enjoyed, my late wife would have enjoyed seeing our oldest playing trumpet and moving up to symphonic band, right? Those kinds of things. And for Kara, my youngest, getting into dance and really enjoying that and having a good time with that.
Mm-hmm.
And where we live, they don't play as far as as the arts.
Yeah.
And so there is a real focus and determination on that. But I think and also they want to win, and they want these children as it relates to competitions and whatever,
Mhm.
but they want the children to grow in that, not only the successes, but also the challenges and losses that they have in
Right.
competition and what have you. So with the performing arts and where we are, they don't play.
Yeah.
They
No,
know the
serious.
teacher, the structure, they know this is going to help them in other aspects of their lives,
Yeah.
whether they become dancers, musicians, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's serious about it.
Whatever career and whatever place they're going to go, they're
Mhm.
going to be better for it because if they were in this program. Okay, too much of a plug on on performing arts, but I mean it's really important.
It is.
It really is. But this is what I was going to say about the retirement piece, which is there. You and I talk about chapter 2. We're at that point. We're starting to think about, hey, what is this next number of years look like? And how do I start doing mission-based activities, career that makes sense for us?
Right.
That gives me the fulfillment. Yeah, sure. Working in the corporate life, there's a lot that it brings you. But the deeper interpersonal connection and seeing what you're doing for other people, that's something else. So this idea of retirement with Nalani, both thinking about what does chapter 2 look like?
Right.
What do we start to look at investing in another place that we can go to seasonally? Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And just the vacations that we won't take as the girls finish middle school, high school, whatever that is, that we go, those family vacations that we won't have anymore in our retirement when we're pulling back and spending more time with them because we won't have them much longer in that household.
Yeah.
So that's where it really caught me as related to retirement. Not the career so much as it is sharing life.
Life, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the life. How do you get to the phase, the last few chapters where you're coexisting every day and your world is finishing this world and getting your children to this next, your adult children to this next level of their own lives, right? And grandkids, hopefully, and all that stuff. Yeah,
and to the degree we can control it, making sure our health is intact.
Exactly. Yeah,
because that's where you and I are having to think about that because we have older parents.
Yeah,
as many of you do.
And bad knees.
Right. I mean, these things happen, and to us they do, and we're oh man. So it's how do we work, Nalani and I, think about our health as we go forward because the challenges are going to come.
Right. How's it feel now? Like in that moment where you were like, wait, I've got to rewrite this. This story is now going to be different.
Yeah.
Like how did what was that? How did that feel?
It hurts at first because you did not plan to be where you are today. Yeah. I did not plan this would happen. And I would have to think about, all right, well, where else am I going to find joy and happiness? Yeah, I mean, certainly the progression of my kids, that's very fulfilling.
Yeah.
But what about me? I mean, I had these plans, and now I have to think about, does that involve somebody else now?
Right.
So it's real time for me now.
Yeah.
And I'm in a relationship now, and you see so much promise for what it can be. And it's also, I think about my mom, who I talk about all the time, and because she's a model of what it looks like growing older.
Right.
Not woe is me, but I'm curious about the rest of the world and the rest of the time I have. Let me go do this and that.
Right.
That's what my mother does.
Yeah.
So she's a good example for me in that way. So I also think about how independent her life and also hers coexisted with the person with whom she had a relationship after Tiny Gooden.
Yeah.
Tiny
and who he wasn't.
Yeah, the cowboy.
Yeah.
And she met another man, and they brought their lives together, and then they were as good together as they were apart.
Right.
Until he passed.
Right.
So, so that's rewriting, just like you said.
Yeah.
Now I am going into this rewrite.
How's it? I mean, I think that's the part where you're like, I think there's a part where you do this, you go through that rewrite, that phase.
Yep.
And you're resisting rewriting, right? So much of the story, so much of which you started writing with, your late wife, with our late wives,
right,
was like, oh, well, like, so much of you functions almost like, well, it has to be this way.
Right.
But it doesn't. Yeah. Right. And to your point, I think you bring up a good point of like, I'm now having to rethink that.
That's right.
One, because your identity is now your singular identity. And yes, you're dating. And like for me, it's like my identity went from Jamal married to Janice, to single father, to now
the widowed,
and widowed, and the impact of that, to single father, figuring out, to dating, married, and now I'm writing,
working
through that whole process, right? Working through all of these different things.
Yeah.
But then now also getting to a point where, oh wait, what I thought was going to be the end in these chapters of what life was going to be like, I'm having to rewrite it now. And some of this is uncomfortable, right? Some of this is different than I thought it was going to be. And I would say it's not bad. It's not good. It's uncomfortable. Right. And that's the part that I think is like that we have to sit on sometimes, that it's like, it's not a bad thing. Like, don't feel bad feeling uncomfortable. Right. It should be uncomfortable. You're rewriting a part of your life that you had,
that's right,
forecasted, so to speak.
That's right.
Right. And I think that's important.
You had the cast of characters. You had the story essentially written. The structure was there, but then it changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's with new cast of characters, new situations that arise because of these new cast members.
Exactly.
So, which we will get deep into on another.
Oh yeah, and listen, and then and when you have children, guess what? They're writing their own story, and you have to adjust to that. So
yeah. So what this really is, man, it's grieving unfinished chapters, and some that you were uncomfortable to know you're going to.
It's not. These aren't memories. You didn't create them yet.
Yeah, they're possibilities.
There were possibilities. There was something that you thought, you believed. You created this vision. We all did. We created this vision in our mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes individually, sometimes collectively with our partners, of what life would look like in the future.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the hard part. Yeah. And then, like at the end of the day, it's a script you assumed that you were gonna play out.
Yeah.
Right. It was a script, a play, a show, or a book, but like your mind is essentially just trying to fill in the blanks through this period.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's blank. It's white paper for you to rewrite. That's the reason it's white. That's the reason it's blank. It's your mind is giving you space to rewrite the future.
Yeah. No question about it. So this is where it shows up.
Yeah.
It shows up in these moments you just don't expect. You're thinking about tomorrow instead of yesterday.
Yeah. You're sitting on the milestones and the what ifs. What happens when my daughter gets married? What's the wedding going to look like? Well, guess what? That's changed.
Yeah. And again, about the retirement conversation where it shows up that, well, when do we do that? When does all this kind of click in where we're living easy life? I don't know what that actually means.
Yeah. Yeah.
People say it.
Exactly. Or like travel plans. I know if it's, I always laugh if it was, Janice used to always say, oh, I want to retire on the beach running a little tiki bar.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, oh, that sounds nice for you. I don't want to sit here, let's live on a beach with a tiki bar. Right. But like at the time, I didn't know what it was. Now I'm having to get, having these conversations again. Like, it's a different vision, that you plan. So
yeah.
Then empty nest.
I mean,
kids are gone.
You can't foresee that for a little while. I know that.
I pressed reset, man. I got a 5-year-old. Yeah. So,
I mean, these folks we're talking to, I'm sure that, what does that look like now?
Yeah, exactly. And some of them are becoming empty nesters. Some of you are becoming empty nesters, and you're having to figure this out. A life that you thought was going to be one way, and you've got your children living their own lives. And listen, it was hard enough for me when my oldest, Jackie, left the house, and she's off. She's 21 now, and I'm like, missing her, wondering what she's doing on a day-to-day basis. But I can't only imagine.
But can you imagine weddings? Now that's got to be hard where it shows up.
Yeah.
Because that dance,
Mm.
that song.
Yeah.
And I mean, I cry at chorus concerts of my daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I hold it in.
I've seen it. Yes.
It's tough.
It is.
It's like my grandmother in that way.
No, listen, we all are. We all present it differently, right? And I think those are the moments like when you start thinking about, we've talked about the holiday traditions, and the wedding is going to be, you wearing, I've still got Janice's wedding dress in our house.
Same.
Because I don't know if that's going to be something one of the girls want to wear. Maybe they won't, maybe they will. Styles change, who knows? But it's like, those are things that come up and they present themselves.
That's right.
Right? Because somewhere, some way along the line, there was a discussion, don't get rid of the dress because one of the kids might, one of the girls might want.
And you just probably knew that. Without someone having to prompt you, you probably just knew.
I knew that.
As you were going through moving from Austin out here, like,
someone wrote that in the manuscript.
Yeah.
Right. And, so I think those are going to be things, friends, they're aging together, financial planning.
Yeah.
Right. Is one thing that always comes up when you talk about the future. And, that was one page, Janice and I could never get on the same page about. So yeah, it's a little bit easier.
A lot of couples can't get on the same page.
A lot of couples. But like that's again, like those are things that that where all of this stuff shows up.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, but bears repeating here are the holiday traditions and how that is different, and then that becomes a new added memory. And that's fine. That's moving forward.
Yeah. What surprised you? Like, what are I talked about kind of earlier for me. Like, it was just the time, how far out these things still present themselves.
Yeah.
What for you was?
I think as they happened, that you saw them coming, and you thought, oh no, I'm gonna work through it.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. But then when it comes, it's something different. Man.
Yeah. It's not real though. It's emotionally, it's like you're almost grieving, like I said, you're almost grieving a vision.
Yeah.
And not something that actually happened.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the thing too, is not that I was surprised that I didn't miss something that never was going to happen.
Yeah. You talked about feeling sadness, right? Feeling sadness for a moment that retirement vision isn't going to be there. It's like crazy. It's like when you think about the complexity of grief, and how you can grieve possibilities, that's in and of itself. It like tells you how intricately intertwined the heart and the mind are. Yeah, when they create the vision of love, right? Yeah, I think that to me is like it's a powerful reality. Yeah, what happens in this period.
Yeah, what also surprised me, I think, too, and for you all is that you're realizing that grief evolves. And it's always there, but it's how you manage it in your life. It's not every day and then it's shown on you that, he must be grieving or
right.
So know that it evolves, and it doesn't paralyze. It hopes that's the hope.
Yeah, I think it's funny. It's like they say in analytics, or if you deal with data or anything like that, there's always the view of like there's this chart, and they always talk about the long tail, right? So if you think about grief in the early phases, it's like this heavy grief in the beginning, and it fades out, and over time it becomes this really, really thin trickle of grief. Yeah, and that's what we're talking about, right? It's like the missed moments, the what ifs, and the imagines, right? And like that's the long tail where like the grief doesn't completely go away.
No, it can't.
It can't, right? Because this person was important to you. It's just like it's less upfront, less painful than it was up front, and more of this kind of lingering, recall. Yeah. So it's a recall or I won't say forecast, but it's more of like a recall or wish, hope, dream you're still holding on to.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe it helps you open yourself up to more to replace, because you've worked through that sense of grief. Then it starts to replace more. Well, let me let these memories in for the sake of them adding to my moving forward.
Yep.
And that's fine. And so this idea of really discovering new layers years later, not only the idea of the missing of what was,
right,
but then also new layers that opened you up to, okay, well, I can add on to this and I'm fine.
Yeah.
And so let me continue to move in this way.
Yeah. And I think when I like the idea of like, I'm fine, because that's where this this blending of like gratitude and sadness comes.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm fine is I'm still sad she's gone.
Sure.
I'm still sad that I lost this person.
For the children.
Right. I'm still sad.
For her community.
For all of these different reasons.
Yep.
But I'm grateful for this life that I got to have.
Right.
And the outcomes of it. Right. Children, memories, all this, laughs, joys, all of this, all the good stuff. But that's where, like, when you talk about it evolving and becoming something where you have these conflicting emotions and these conflicting feelings around it, it's less about, oh, I'm so sad, or I'm not happy, or less of like, I'm happy, I can't believe I'm happy, because you're conflicted. It's like this back and forth element of like the grief, the sadness, and the great, this gratefulness that you had this. Right.
That's right.
Yeah. And then like, this is like, the reality is like, this is so much about the future. Like, it's just focused that loss isn't just about the past. It's also about the what could have been. Right. And I think that's the part that we're talking about here is you can grieve the future, or what you thought was going to be the future, as much as you can grieve the past.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I struggled with, though, is I think about that, and I kind of touched on it a little bit, is like letting go for people who are in relationships in particular, who, you had challenges in the relationship. I think there's a part of, like, for me, that I struggled with early on, and sometimes it still comes up, where you struggle with the lack of closure. Right? Like, you struggle. I know I did. I struggled with not being able to have that final I'm sorry conversation, or have those final conversations with each other around, like, hey, I just want the best for you. Like, all the things that it is for me, like, I had all of these conversations in my head around, like, squashing the beef. Right? It's like and granted, we did have so many conversations and different conversations while she was battling, even when she realized, and we both realized, that she wasn't likely gonna survive it. So we did have some, but there's so many things that are left unsaid, and resolutions that you didn't really get, like closure that you didn't get to have.
Yeah.
And I know so many of us grievers are missing closure for something. But when you have a marriage or a relationship, or somebody passes suddenly, and you just had a fight, right? Like those things get left, and they leave such deep open wounds that are undescribable, versus like situations where people were like, very happy or whatever. And I think that it just presents a different type of grief,
and for which you have to forgive yourself for so much of that. And because that were the building blocks for a life that you thought you were building,
right?
Essentially,
which
now you have to take moving forward, whatever your life looks like now. Which you clearly have something very concrete in how you have moved forward. Your now wife, child, and just all the children, where they're going, and where they're going to end up career-wise, and their relationships, whatever the case may be. But I think where I really struggle with this whole idea of what life was supposed to be is that reimagining the future. We started to talk about it a little a moment ago. It's this open green pastures white palette, or blank palette,
Yeah.
And that has to be written still.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you go through the phase where you're there now, and even though you're dating now, you're still planning alone.
That's true.
Like that's hard. Because you're planning alone and you don't necessarily want to be alone, but you're planning for more than one possibility now. That's difficult.
Yeah.
It's a totally different a totally different script.
Yeah.
Than what you spent 20 years writing.
Right. Because it was thinking of twos or fours,
Mm-hmm.
or wherever. There are two different plans.
Right.
For the woman I had married and the children.
Mm-hmm.
Better as in a relationship, make sure that we as a couple have some future after they're gone.
Right.
And we all need to think.
Oh yeah, because you hear so many people, like, this is real. Like, so many people build their life and then the kids leave and they're like, I don't know who you are.
Right, exactly.
Why am I still here? Yeah.
So I think where I also struggled though is what you're saying too, that can come from planning alone, is feeling hopeful.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to and have been,
mm-hmm.
and you and I have talked about it,
yeah.
letting that hope and joy and happiness in. So therefore I can feel a little bit more hopeful because I know there is a future that moving forward is
right. And I think the expectations, because when you're doing that too, like, you're also, you have to find this way to be hopeful, but you also have to let go. Reality is, like, you were potentially building a dream and a life based on not just your own expectations, but somebody else's expectations. Right. And this comes into where the compromises have to take place. Again, I joked earlier that, Janice would have loved retirement to be, 45 years old and living on a beach, running a tiki bar, right? Like, and for me, like, I was like, man, that's a hard negotiation. I don't see financially how that's going to happen, but I got some work to do with it. Right. But it also allows me to change the expectations, right? It also allows me to change my own expectations now of when I was planning alone.
Yeah.
But even as I started a relationship with my wife, Jordan, and we started talking about what the future and started redesigning, I had to say, what am I comfortable letting go of in the story that I wrote before? What wasn't I comfortable writing?
That's right.
What wasn't me before? What was the negotiation that I had to make? And what can I rewrite now with this new person?
Right.
Right. And what did I agree with? What was I cool with before? And like, that's the thing, like, the expectations change.
But also to that point, it's those things that you thought that you wanted. Is that a hard stop for you if you don't get it? It's whoa with your now wife.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this I had planned to do. I still want that.
Right.
And so we're going to have to negotiate and mutually understand and put together the plan to get there, because this is very important.
And here's the even more complex part is, some of these dreams and some of this stuff that you imagine as your vision was not just for you and Alani or for me and Janice at the time or whatever. It was for the kids.
Yeah.
So how much of that changes versus stays in place, right? And when you bring a new partner to the into the picture, you're also saying, hey, like, this is what I agreed with.
Right.
I'm carrying this forward.
Yeah.
We could build around it or build on top of it, but this was the design for them, right? That's a whole different discussion. And some people look like, may think about, like, oh, you're paying homage to this person. Mm-hmm. No, I aligned with, this is what I wanted for these kids.
That's right.
That's what that's what we aligned on. That's what so much of the foundation of the relationship was built on, was around the kids.
Yeah.
So that's a vision you probably can't let go.
Right.
Or you don't want to.
And then again, the struggle that you are talking about is building these new dreams atop what you had already had envisioned.
Right.
So that's kind of that next phase of it.
It's the non-negotiables. You struggle with the non-negotiables. Those are the non-negotiables that you're going to struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, also accepting permanent change. Mm-hmm. Like, it's change. It's like, that book can't be written now.
Yeah.
that show can't be performed between you and Alani or me and Janice. It's now us, the kids, and we've introduced new casts and new characters.
Right.
And they have different roles.
Yeah.
Right. And therefore the show is different.
And with all the changes that have happened as you have moved to being a widower and a single dad, and maybe those who may not have children or whatever, is that joy you once had, there's still some yet to come. And understanding that it can exist.
There's a lot.
later.
There's a lot of stuff you can that you can laugh about and smile about and have, especially if you have children that are part of that picture.
And the simplest things that can make you joyful.
Yeah.
For sure. And so hold on to that. It's coming. It's still there.
Yeah.
So please just hold on, do everything that you can so you can get there and experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that makes it worse.
Okay.
Maybe there's several. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, any other family, any other situation.
Every single time that can trip you. Don't do it.
Yeah, you go to the
scorecard there.
You go to the diner and it's you and the two girls, and it's somebody with their family of 4 or 5, and it gets harder. Don't do it.
Yeah. So we know we live in a world where we know how it can be made worse. Social media, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I stopped the death. I honestly, it was a struggle. The only reason I stayed on social media was to post and let people see the kids.
Yes.
Because I got tired of, I was getting tired of all the text messages and how you doing? How the kids? Send me a picture. How the kids? How you doing? Yeah. I appreciated it. But after a while I was like, man. But every time I would get on social media, there was something reminding me of my life has changed and I won't have that future anymore. Right. And that was like a constant reminder.
And everybody, they don't put their brokenness on social media.
No.
They put themselves in the best ring light.
Yeah.
And best light.
Yes.
Specifically.
And everybody's face
on their lives.
Everybody's face looks so smooth.
Oh yeah, everybody's smooth. Yeah, everybody's perfect.
Airbrush.
And all of that.
Yeah.
That's topical, guys.
Yeah.
And probably not real, most of it. Because come on, guys. Please stay off social media.
Weddings.
Oh yeah, that can get tough.
I think I attended a couple after since Janice passed. I'm trying to think if I attended any afterwards. Before I got married.
Yeah.
Remarried.
Maybe some of your friends' children. At that point? Or no? Okay.
Like most of my, a couple. But there was some reminders. Therefore.
Well, you had some young people who got married in their 40s.
Yes.
Like George. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like my own doesn't count.
Okay.
Or maybe it did. Maybe there was like, oh man, I'm doing this again. And why? But I think there was I mean, I know weddings, anniversary. You always remember the anniversary date.
Yeah.
I remember. I know my anniversary date from like it comes up, and I'm like, yeah, this is that anniversary.
Yeah.
Right, and there's a reminder there. Or like one of my best friends got married, a few months before I got married to Jen. I remember his anniversary like it's and it's a reminder that mine is coming next, right? So
yeah, and then just what makes it worse, we already kind of talked about don't compare yourself to other people and other families, but I think also feeling guilty creating new dreams, that's what can make it worse for sure. You have to let it evolve, but
holding on to the original life script. I mean, if you think about your life as a book, you cannot write your biography until it's over.
Yeah. Right.
So if you want to write a novel,
I like that.
Then write all the pages now.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about your life as a biography and you think about what's the next chapter, you can plan that chapter, but know that you can't write the end of that. You can't write that chapter until it ends. And I think that's how we have to think about this. Like all of these things that we thought we were going to do with our late wives, positive, good, bad, or indifferent, right? All of these things that we thought were going to be our future, all these ways that we thought, you know, what we thought retirement would look like, or what we thought the kids' milestones would look like. They have to be rewritten, right? Because it's a biography now and not a novel.
And also what makes it worse, this idea of thinking happiness means replacement.
Yeah.
That can make it worse.
Yeah.
But what helped? What helped, Jamal?
You know, honestly, I think the thing that helped, as much as you respect the old traditions and the old ways, like being open to new traditions and new ways of doing things. Like that has helped me so much, to be honest, in respecting and honoring how we did things as a family, or what we did, or what I did before Janice was here. But after she passed, being open to, there were new days to celebrate. There were new places to go. There were new vacations, right? You know, we could do things differently.
Yeah, sure. You said planning those experiences, small, large, but definitely doing it, allowing that excitement, actual, true excitement. There may be a tinge, and it may of sadness, and it can be muted maybe a little bit, but it nonetheless doing things that can be
and I think there's a balance. There's a balance in doing that and creating new memories, but also creating a memory and being able to say, wow, like Nalani or Janice, they would love this.
Right.
This would have been cool to them. Or just creating the memory and the experience for you and the kids and new friends and new family or new partners, and being like, that's just a new exciting experience. Like life can move forward without those, you know, those moments with that person.
Yeah, and I think balance with that is the ability to talk about future grief.
Yeah.
Because it's now you have, we're sticking with books and writing, I guess that's our theme today, is that those volumes have been written,
right,
so that you can refer to them as you understand,
right,
there will be grief in the future at different stages.
Yep. And like the reality is both realities can exist.
Yeah.
They can coexist together, right? Like you can have a past, you can have a future that you planned, and a future that has to change because of your past.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's something to think about. Like it's okay for this to change. It's okay for this to be different now. And we talked, there's new experiences, the new forks in the road that you have to travel.
Yeah.
Right.
Dream again. Go ahead. It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all right. Do it.
Yeah.
So that's what that really has helped.
Yep.
So if you're grieving, guys, and women too who listen. So when I say guys and girls, so what I mean is that if you're grieving a future that never happened,
it's real grief,
and you don't have to explain it to anyone.
Yeah, it's a part of the process, and you know, like I think that's something we're all going to deal with. We all deal with it, you know. But I mean, think about it, like, right? What if moving forward isn't just about replacing the future?
What if it's just rebuilding one?
I mean, there's practical ways.
Yeah.
Right. Like we talked about, like talk about the future grief. It's okay. Like it's okay to talk joyfully about this future.
That's right.
You believe you would have. You can talk joyfully about it. You can talk excited about it, and you can actually grieve and miss and be okay with it. It's got to be rewritten.
Because those two things can coexist as well. The sadness, because that reminds you of how deeply you felt about that person or what that life was supposed to be. And then also just kind of the joy of creating those new plans.
Yeah.
And allowing yourself to dream, as we just talked about.
Yep. Yeah. And we continue to say that emotions will feel conflicted. They are conflicting, which is why grief feels so crazy sometimes, because sadness and hope can coexist. They will coexist.
Yeah.
And in order for you to get back up, you've got to let the hope piece of it take the lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, if you take anything from this,
it's okay to the future and think and grieve and mourn for that loss. Mourn not in the sense of paralyzed, but that healthy reflection on that.
Yeah, but don't let yourself stop feeling the need and the desire to create a new future. Like, do not let yourself stifle your creativity and your joy and your hopefulness around what can be better in this new chapter, in this new phase of where you need to go in your life.
You have so much more to give, not only to the person and people that are already in your universe, but these other ones that may come in as well. So we really thank you again for joining us on Getting Back Up, Finding Life After Death.
Podcast.
Yeah, the podcast. We got so much more coming up, don't we?
Yeah, we got a lot of things, a lot more shows, a lot more discussions and interviews coming. And as usual, we appreciate you for joining us. We thank you. We ask you to continue liking, giving us the 5 stars, the thumbs up, sharing it, all the good stuff.
Bring those comments. We love the comments.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate you all. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for joining us on Getting Back Up, Finding Life After Death. If something in today's episode spoke to you, pass it on, because somebody out there needs to hear this.
For sure. We're on all the social mausoleums, so follow us on Instagram, Threads, TikTok. Mostly it will be in the form of Get Back Up Podcast.
And be sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast.
And remember, getting knocked down is part of life.
But getting back up is how we live.
We'll see y'all next time.